Hi, my name is Katie, and I was a missionary for many years, and this subject is very close to my heart. This video will be in two parts. One is kind of a more general to Christians, and the second part is to people specifically in ministry. But I'd really love you to stay and listen to everything, even if it's not exactly particular to your situation, because I share some of my personal experience as a missionary, and I think it would be really great to get this message out to as many people as possible so they can communicate it to the people that they know. So thank you so much for watching to the end. It really means a lot to me. These are 4 things to keep in mind when someone you don't know calls your phone. Number 1, they aren't all scammers. They're not all people trying to get something from you, swindle you, waste your time, ruin your lives. It's not a nefarious plot. It's not all about you. There are scammers, yes, they exist. It's unfortunate. There are people that are genuinely just doing their jobs, and as fun as it is to hate them, that's not fair. Sorry, it's not. Number 2, even if you get mixed up into a scammer plot, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus curse them out? Would Jesus mock them? I mean, what is the right thing to do in the situation? Report them? I don't know the answers. I'm not all-knowing. Share in the comments what is the legal thing to do to report a scammer, because that is important information, and I'm sure there's plenty of other YouTube videos on that subject. But the main point I'm trying to make with number 2 is just to genuinely ask you, what would Jesus do? To remind you, how would he respond to people? Number 3, you may not know this, but whoever's calling you may actually have something good for you. They may have a blessing for you. They may be a new friend you don't know yet. The Lord may be bringing them into your life for a reason. Just try to keep that in mind. I mean, it's weird, but the Lord moves in mysterious ways, right? Number 4, your phone, your email, your social medias, your whatevers, those are an extension of your mission field. Your mission field extends beyond real life and into cyberspace. That's just how it is. So what you say, what you do, what you post, what you write, what you respond to, what you don't respond to, that all reflects back. What you believe is shown by who you are. So if you're angry to people on the phone for calling you, if you're posting angry, hateful things, you're not showing a life that's got much fruit of the Spirit in it. And I want to be brave enough to be able to say that, and hope that somebody has ears to hear that their spirit is open and willing to receive correction and instruction and rebuke, because the Lord rebukes those whom he loves. So if you are a child of his, listen to this. And this is for pastors, church secretaries, lay ministers, people whose job it is to answer the phone. Everybody wants that job, right? Sign me up. So these are 5 things to keep in mind when doing your job of answering the phone. It's literally your job to answer a phone. So please keep irritation out of your voice. Please don't hang up. This is incredibly painful. You don't know until you've been hung up on by someone who's, by the line of work they're in, professing to be a Christian. 2, Smile before answering. It helps to keep that irritation out. It's a better representation of what your church hopefully stands for. 3. If you don't have time to talk, that's perfectly valid. Just say, I don't have time to talk right now, but come up with when you do have time. Set a date, set a time. And if you are really wanting to make sure that you can trust people, that's perfectly valid and commendable. Invite them for coffee. Invite them over to talk together, pray together. See if you're on the same page and if your ministries can work out. 4. Answer voicemails, texts, emails. Set aside time for that in your job. If you have too much on your plate, delegate. God has put someone in your life that can support you to make sure that you get all these things done. You don't have to do it all alone. 5. Christians are called to hospitality, to support, and love. This is a calling, whether you're in ministry or not. So here's my experience. Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm with the Covenant Players. We are a Christian theater company. Bonjour, je m'appelle Cathy, je travaille avec un groupe de théâtre chrétien. Hallo, hier ist die Cathy. Ich arbeite mit einer Theatergruppe, Covenant Players. Hej, jag heter Katie. Jag är med en teatergrupp som heter Covenant Players. There were times when I was set out on the road with nothing but faith and a database of numbers to call. We were sent out in small groups, 3 to 4 people. Often we were all under the age of 25. We were young people living on faith. We believed and we knew that God had called us. And when we tried to make those contacts, which was the only thing we could do, we were met often without enough love, without enough time. And that is a poor reflection on the church. There were times when it was 9 o'clock at night and I still didn't know where my team and I were going to be sleeping that night. God always provided. He always did. I never had to sleep in the car or the van. But I really believe that a lot of my stress and pain and disappointment could have been alleviated if I had been treated like a human being. If I wasn't labeled as a nuisance or unimportant. Hello, my name is Katie with the Covenant Players, and we were people that were being hung up on, not responded to, and cast aside. The people that you are hanging up on are people Jesus died for. And you aren't representing him very well when you treat people poorly. Hi, my name is Katie with the Covenant Players. I was hoping to talk to you for a moment. So I pray that you will take this in the spirit in which it's meant. A challenge in love, a challenge to repentance. I pray that things can get better for people that are traveling missionaries out there who are dependent upon faith, who have something really wonderful to share, wonderful challenges, wonderful inspiration. Covenant Players isn't the only one. There are other ministries out there, and they deserve time and respect. I remember one time in South Africa, I was hormonal pregnant. I was overwhelmed. I just had so much. I had so many lines to learn, phone calls to make, things to organize. I was living out of a van, out of a suitcase. I was responsible for my team. And I called pretty much everywhere there was to call for a place to sleep. Just a place to sleep. We don't ask for entertainment and, anything fancy. Literally a bed. A bed, a blanket, a pillow. That was really enough. A lot of nights. And we tried everywhere and nobody was getting back to us. Nobody was acknowledging us. And I just went outside to just yell at God and I just started kicking this tree. I was so frustrated. So frustrated at Him. It's like, why don't you make things happen better? Why don't you do things when I want you to do them? I know. We all have to have the freedom to say how we feel to God. I just wanted to share that, to show you the other side of the phone. Maybe it's hard to comprehend that there are missionaries out there that don't have a home to go back to, that live on faith for 4.5 months at a time, that literally don't own a pillow, that go where they feel they are called to go within a small area, or large. I've been in some really large areas too. With a van filled with props, costumes, scripts, and a few changes of clothes, and make it work. But it exists, and it's called Covenant Players. And maybe these are some of the irritating missionaries that have called you. And if they have, don't miss out on the blessing. Call them back. I hope I've communicated well. I really hope to hear your thoughts about this. How do you respond when the phone rings? Do you return calls to the voicemails, and do you respond to the emails from people? Do you check your spam folders? Do you give a good representation of a Christian in the way that you do your dealings? Thank you so much for watching this video, and be mightily blessed. Comprenez-vous anglais? Verstehen Sie Englisch? Verstehst du Engelska?